Hi there, it's me, Nina. I hope y'all are having a great summer day, and I just wanted to bring up a few things in Luke. Came across this yesterday, and of course, every time I dig in the Word, I always find some very intriguing things and exciting things. So I thought I would read you a few scriptures, and you can see what you think about it. This is in Luke, um, both chapter 9 and chapter 10. And so let me read you a little bit. Um, okay, so this is titled, Who is the Greatest? So then a dispute arose among them as to which one of them would be the greatest. They're talking, this is the disciples talking amongst themselves. And Jesus, perceiving the thought of their heart, he took a little child and set him by him, and said to them, Whoever receives this little child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. For he who is least among you will be great. Um, so that's just another wonderful thing that Jesus has said. He's trying to make a point here. He saw that the disciples are disputing amongst each other. Who's going to be the greatest? Maybe the greatest in their group there. I don't know. We humans, we can be that way, right? We compete. Knowingly or not, or we compare each other. We want to strive to be better, or whatever the case. And it's a human thing, I guess. But Jesus perceived this in them, and then he pointed out. They found a child near him, a young child, set him next to him, or maybe in his lap, and it was like, if you receive this child, you receive me. You receive me, you receive God. And he who is least among you all will be great. Now that speaks volumes. Jesus is saying that nobody is really greater than anybody else. And those that we think are least among us are actually greatest to Jesus, to God. In other words, everybody. He doesn't play favorites. He just, I think that's very profound what he just said. And I think too that I kind of get the impression, everybody thinks the small child or the young people don't know much and are the least among them because they don't know as much or they haven't done as much. But I think Jesus sees potential. There is potential from the time that you are conceived. You have the potential is already in you. The seeds of potential, the seeds of greatness is already in you. And as you continue, even as a child, it is still in you. God has a plan for all of us. Whether or not we make it through that plan, a lot of times that's up to us. And to think that a child could be standing next to you. You could be somebody who has many degrees. You could be somebody who who's all that. So much, and you make $1 million or whatever. You could be very successful. But that child standing next to you is another human being with potential on the inside of them, a greatness inside of them. They have not grown into that potential yet, but they will. And they could be just as successful as you, or just as successful, or even more so, with whatever greatness is inside that child. Everybody has greatness inside of them. And anyway, I think that's very profound. And we should never underestimate somebody by the way they look, or by their age, or by their what they seem to be lacking. Outside appearances really deceive us oftentimes. We misjudge most of the time. Most of the time we misjudge somebody if we're judging them in a negative or harsh way. And we find out later, oh, well, he wasn't who I thought he was. He's not that bad. He's actually a pretty good guy. Or she's a pretty nice person. I misjudged her. So you can't always go by outside appearances, and only God knows them 100% all the time. He knows us 100% all the time. He knows what's going on in our minds, our hearts, our intentions, and he also knows what our struggles are. So many people walking around silently and struggling with so many things. I mean, actually, we all are, in one level or another, we are all struggling with something, and some much more than others, and some do it silently, some do it alone, or maybe they think they are alone. So, we should be careful. We should be careful how we judge people, because we don't know what their struggles are. We don't know what they're going through, or what they have gone through. Yeah. So anyway, so another thing in Luke, down to verse, let me see. Let's go to 54. And when his disciples James and John saw this, they said, Lord, do you want us to command? Oh, yeah, okay. So they were in the Samaritan village, right? And they had tried, I guess, to talk to them. And they were rejected by the Samaritans. They did not receive him because his face was set for the journey to Jerusalem. So the Samaritans did not receive Jesus or his disciples. And so his disciples were saying, well, Lord, do you want us to command the fire to come down from heaven and consume them, just as Elijah did? And but Jesus says to them, he turns and he rebukes them, and he says, you do not know what manner of spirit you are, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village. So they just simply left. They were not received. Boy, it's getting hot in here. They did not receive Jesus or his disciples. And I imagine they probably weren't very nice to them. But and they wanted to basically say, come on, Jesus, let's just destroy the whole village. And Jesus says, no, that's not what I came here to do. I didn't come to destroy them. And then, the story of the Samaritan woman. Well, Lord knows, what an effect and influence that would have happened. Him speaking to her at the well. So he didn't want to destroy them. He wanted to help them. He helped them through the Samaritan woman. When he spoke to her, and she was able to tell her people about Jesus and that he's real. But that's another story. But see, that's... I love when Jesus points this out, that he did not come to destroy men's lives. He came to save us. He came to save us, not to destroy us. Now, because we know him and because we love him, we love his truth and his word. Because we have him inside of us, we are a target in this world, because there's evil here, and then we're going to have affliction only because we have him and we love him. We're going to have that affliction. Jesus warned us about that too, that in the word would be like a sword, to divide truth and divide lies, and divide the truth, which is the word of God. And that would divide a lot of people. That sort of truth is going to divide people and cause problems and cause hurt and cause pain. Persecution would cause pain. But that's because